Contouring and sculpting your face looks scary, but this one trick finally made it click for me. My first tip to you is do not do what I just did. You do not want to apply your cream contour and your highlighter at the same time. Trust me, it makes it a million times harder, and those TikTok tutorials are making your life more difficult. So let me blend this out and we'll start fresh on this side. And don't worry, I've taught hundreds, if not thousands of people how to master sculpting and contouring your face. So even if you're a beginner, I'm going to take you through step by step. The first step is to grab a cream product that is going to sculpt and one that's going to highlight. These are both the Maybelline lifter sticks because not only are they affordable, they are super easy to blend. So even if you're a beginner, you will find this easy. And also there's quite a few different shades. So there's something for everyone. These are actually really multi-purpose and you can use them to cover as well, like a foundation or a concealer. But today I have chosen shade 45 for my sculpting shade and shade 05 for my highlighting shade. So the trick I've learned being a qualified makeup artist is to think of putting your sculpting shade wherever you want things to be pushed back. And because we're going for a sculpted look and we want our cheekbones to be sculpted, you want it to be pushed back here underneath your cheekbones to really make them pop. We are practically faking having the best bone structure possible. And of course, that means with our highlighter, we want to put it in places that we want to bring forward, like the top of our cheekbones. And of course, I'll take you through the jawline and the forehead, but let's get started. Pick up your contour shade. And honestly, this technique works on 99% of people and face shapes. So you have your contour shade on hand and I want you to grab any brush. It doesn't matter what brush it is. From the top of your ear to the bottom of your mouth, imagine that there's a line there. And why I say grab a brush is you can actually line this up. And exactly where that brush is placed here, this is where you want to sculpt and contour. And like I said before, this is where we want it to look like it's getting pushed in. So grabbing my lifter sticks, I always want to start at the back of my face. And this is purely because you don't want a lot of product here. This can really drag down the face if you add too much here. We want to keep it to the back and lifted, like a lifter sticks, no pun intended. So right where that makeup brush was, I'm just going to draw a little line. And as you can see, these are super creamy, super pigmented, but don't worry, don't get intimidated yet because they blend out so effortlessly. And now you're probably wondering, Claire, where do I bring this color to? Because you said not to drag down my face. I always recommend you bring it down to pretty much the corner of where the color of your eye ends. So for me, it's around there. You can even put your finger there if it helps. And I'll just bring it down a little bit further and I am happy. And like I said, we're going to take this one step at a time. We do not need to be adding every single step at once and making it a blended, blurred mess. I'm going to use a synthetic brush, but of course you can use a beauty blender as well. And in little tapping motions, I am going to blend this out. Why I recommend you do little tapping motions is because we want it to stay in that general area. Of course, we want to blend it out so it's not a streaky line, but also we don't want it to go everywhere. We kind of want to keep it lifted and up and in the place that we put it. So blend it out and really blend into your hairline, into the ear. And I like to blend upwards, not downwards. Again, not dragging down the face. You can already see from the side and even when we're facing forward that our face is starting to look more sculpted and lifted. And don't worry, if you feel like you have blended a little bit further down and you feel like your face is being dragged down, I do have a hack for that, which we'll come to. But like I said, first, I just want to focus on the sculpting part. And that means putting some on your forehead. For the forehead, we do want to stay around the hairline and we do want to stay in this general area. This is going to make the forehead look a little bit smaller. So if you are someone with a small forehead, you can technically skip this step, or you could just add a little bit less. Again, grabbing the brush and blending it into the hairline. Not only does this sculpt your forehead, but it also just makes everything look so much more cohesive. And an extra step that I've been liking to do, but it is a little bit more on the pro side, so feel free to skip it, is from the corner of my eye to my temples, I like to draw a little bit of contour here to help lift up my face. So I'm just going to draw a little line as so, and then lightly blending it out. As you can see, it kind of connects my eyeshadow to the rest of the look and again creates more of a cohesive vibe. But even from that, you can just see how easy these are to blend out. I'm going to go to the jawline because everyone wants a snatched jawline, including myself. So I'm going to start on the chin area and then lightly drag it back. Some people also like putting quite a bit of product here as well to create more of that snatched effect. And with this, I like to blend downwards into my neck to make sure that my neck isn't a completely different color to my face. Again, an extra step that you can definitely skip, but I will show you how to quickly contour your nose if you're interested. And honestly, nose contour is the hardest thing to master because it is the center of your face. So if you do it wrong, it is quite noticeable. But I do feel like with this product, we are doing just like a light contour and it looks very natural. All I like to do is place some of the product on the outside of my nose as so. And I also like to go underneath here because it lifts. Then again, using a brush to blend it out. I also personally like to blend it up to where my eyebrow is to create a seamless shadow. So that's all the sculpting and contouring done. How easy was that? And now we are going for highlighter. Like I said at the start, this is what we want to bring forward. So you probably guessed it. The first place that we want to put it is the top of our cheekbones right here. You can literally feel on your face where your cheekbone is. And you want to apply pretty much directly where that is. But I'm also going to apply it a little bit underneath my eye here because I actually haven't used concealer. And like I said, you can use these to cover as well. So using my beauty blender, I'm going to blend this out. As you can see, it's just further sculpting that face. And then we can blend this out, cover any darkness underneath the eyes. And while I'm here, I am going to add it down the center of my nose. And that's because we want the center of the nose to be the highest point. And I also like doing it at the tip of the nose, again, for that same reason. It kind of gives you that like button, slopey nose look. Blend. Like I said before, if you feel like your contour is dragged down too much, you can use a little bit of this underneath the cheekbone. This is just going to clean everything up and give that sculpted effect. You can see it's almost like an eraser, and it's also going to further accentuate that sculpted look. You can see from the side and the front how that's looking. You can do the same thing on your chin. If you want your chin to protrude a little bit more, just add a little bit of highlighter. And because we've contoured the sides of our face, we can add a little bit of highlighter in the center. And that is all you need to know about sculpting, contouring, highlighting. It's not complicated, but I understand where it can get confusing. So hopefully that just cleared up all your questions. Of course, feel free to add some blush, add some powder, add whatever you want to add, but this is such a good base to creating that sculpted effect. My final step is going to be the Lifted Glaze Balm, also from Maybelline. My lips are always super dry, and I like that these add a little bit of color. This is shade 002 if you were curious. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm so happy to help, and I'll see you in the next video.